Spousal murder expert Kate is happily married to her husband, Matt. After a promotional interview, Kate is shocked to return home to find Matt dead. She hysterically calls the police, which soon proves a hasty decision. Due to her fame as an expert on spousal murder, Kate is the prime suspect and arrested for Matt's murder. Facing the possibility of life in prison, Kate decides to put her investigation skills to the test to find out who really murdered her husband and why they're trying to frame her. The movie started with a short clip on murder and how a woman killed her husband who is a pain in her ass, but the murder was a bit rusty as she kept the key of the murder weapon in the crime scene. Then the woman gave a top 10 list which included making a plan, which of course the woman did, but she really flopped numbers too because appearance matters a lot. Herself and her husband were seen arguing by their neighbor, which is not so good. They would definitely stand as an alibi, and she didn't hide the murder weapon well. She wasn't cooperating and her best friend spilled all the secrets. So you have to keep your friends close, but you'll have to keep your secrets to yourself. Then we see Kate and Matt in the garage kissing and telling each other how they love each other and cooking together as well. When they had a guest who brought in wine and Matt said he wanted to go to the bar and check on his workers, but Kate insisted that it was game night and the workers would be fine without him. Then the four couples came together to pick a place for their vacation, but later came to the conclusion that it wasn't quite the time for a vacation. The firm wants Kate on shows and interviews, but she is a bit not sure as it would affect her marriage. They had a rule not to stay away from each other for as long as a week, because they have to put their marriage first, but was later offered to come along with her husband. But Kate feels he has a brewery to run, and then he decided to adjust the timing till sometime after. Matt wants to drive Kate to an event, but she didn't want to stress him, but she wants him to stay back and build his business. Matt is not sure if that is what he wants as he hitting rock bottom due to lack of cash and sight to build his business. Kate offered for him to use out of her business money, but he insisted that he doesn't want to use her money because she has worked hard for it. She then tries to tell him that her money is also his money, and he finally came out of his shell and said he want to push through with the business anymore. When Matt suggested that some space would be good for both of them, and she left her system and packed her bags to leave. When she told him he never says he is sorry after a fight, he then kissed her and said he was sorry and loves her more than anything. After Greg interview, Kate is finally back home, and Peter came to see Kate just before she stepped into the house asking how was Matt because he texted him just the other night but he wasn't responding. She came into the house and called out to him but didn't respond when Peter saw him in the pool of his blood in the living room and called 911. They got to the scene and did a little searching of the house. When Lenore came in and said she would not lay down on the case, they took her to the station for questioning, and she said it makes sense that they would look towards the wife for the prime suspect, but she understands that they have to do what they have to do. She then gave her comment, but the detective wasn't having it as she just released a new series on true crime murder. He asked if they argued recently and she told him yes, but it was because he was overwhelmed by work and he apologized just before she left the house that night. She started to cry, but the detective said she was right on K. A very good job of playing a briefed wife and an excuse as she killed her husband. Then she asked where Lenore was, as she came in late, was shocked to see that even Lenore didn't have her back at this as well. But the detective feels it was 18 hours to come back to the house after leaving Matt and do what she had to do. But Lenore said she wasn't the kind of girl and she had confirmed with the agency and she truly wasn't around, and they were just planning their vacation. The detective said Lenore was not thinking as a detective because Kate is her friend and their connection too. The detective then asked where Lenore was as at yesterday if they were next door neighbors she should have heard or seen something, and she said she was on a shift and got home around 1 a.m. Her husband was also out late and doesn't tell her things lately. The detective said he thinks she is guilty and Lenore thinks she is innocent and they have to prove each other wrong. Her lawyer Gary came to pick her up and took her to his place because she cannot go to her place for now. They did Matt's wake keep, and they also asked if they could open the bar and she agreed. Kate said someone killed Matt and it might be someone close, and the detective are focusing on her when the suspect is out there. She then is trying to find the killer herself. Kate went through Gary's stuffs and found out himself, and Matt went to the same high school and he bullied Gary a lot in school, but Gary didn't tell Kate for once, but he only realized he was Matt after he signed Kate as a client, and Matt didn't remember Gary at all. Kate then said if Gary is holding a grudge, that is a clue towards him, and Gary said he didn't kill Matt and he was still alive when he left the house. He had only gone there to see if Kate was around. He didn't give the statement earlier because he was focused on Kate, and Kate is in danger now as she isn't the main killer. However, we discovered that Kate has been getting some strange messages. She then said she could help them find the killer, but the detective said no and she should leave them do their jobs. Kate and the detective came to an agreement to check Matt's apartment upstairs of the bar, and then Kate realized that the room was a mess and he is usually a neat person. We then see 2 cups in the apartment and Kate said it doesn't prove anything and that Matt would not cheat on her. They check in a box and saw some female items. This made us sad as Matt was having an affair. It just summed up to the fact that she didn't know her husband. Kate asked Lisa, a worker at Matt's bar, if she ever had sex with Matt, but she said no. They flirted with each other but never had sex as he was her boss. All she did was because she wanted a promotion. She knows Kate loves Matt, but he wasn't a good husband, and he said open your eyes, which matched with the letters she got in the mail. But Lisa said she wanted to warn her, that's all, and she didn't kill him. However, a footage surfaced of Peter and Matt fighting. Pictures of Matt and Lisa surfaced the internet, and even a picture from the last vacation Kate and Peter took. Lenore and Peter seems to be having a breakup and didn't tell anyone. Avere told Kate that he has what it takes to take the bar to the next level and she should sign a transfer of business to him, but she refused and called the police. The whole town is filled with secret and this would make it difficult to find the truth. Kate is so close to finding the truth, but Peter tells her to leave since she is innocent and she refused. However, we discovered that Matt and Lenore had been having an affair as well. She said she fell in love with the wrong person and they felt it would be a one-time thing, but continued even after the vacation. Kate confronted Lenore and she admitted to it and then told Kate that she felt she called her over to confess to the killing of Matt. But Kate is surprised to hear that as she is not the killer. They both got into a fight and Lenore fell and died. Months later, we see that Kate is free and was able to discover that it was Lenore that killed Matt, and she tried to frame her with her own clues she gives on her show online. However, we see that it was Kate that hit Lenore before she fell, and Kate said there is always a good suspect. She then stood up from the camera and deleted the clip she just shot.